What is going on, my sweet children of the night, my little squids? We are ranking the best Hypernaked motorcycles on sale today. Now look, it's not going to be a super objective, unbiased ranking. This is my personal opinion, so we're blending objective and subjective, letting them mingle in the nether regions of my brain. I'm going to give you my ranking on the finest Hypernaked motorcycles on sale today. There's a couple caveats here. Listen, they got to be brand new, they got to be naked, money is no object, and that's about it. Without further ado, let's dive into number 10 on the list today. Okay, number 10 is the Agusta Brutale 1000 RR. Yes, get out your pitchforks, but this is the worst Hypernaked on sale today. The thing costs $33,800. Yikes. Oh, but Yam, it's an Agusta, it's sex on wheels, it's art on wheels, blah, blah, blah. Terrible, terrible value for money. Terrible. A 999cc inline-4 making 208 horsepower and 86 foot-pounds of torque powers this naked motorcycle that has clip-ons that resemble more of a superbike in my opinion. It is the strangest naked bike on sale today. It's wildly expensive, the ergonomics are all compromised, and I think it's vastly last generation in terms of its technology. I haven't ridden this motorcycle, but reading reviews on it, it seems like there's weird button layouts, kind of odd Agusta build quality decisions, but the people who like it really like it, but I think it's for a very, very specific type of customer. I think we shouldn't really consider the Agusta Brutale 1000 RR as a Hypernaked on your list today. All right, next is a motorcycle that I've actually lauded. I really like it, but it finds its way ninth is the Suzuki GSX 1000. Look, if you're looking for best bang for buck, this bike absolutely fits the bill. $11,299 gets it done for Hypernaked in 2024. Get the heck out of here, that's a screaming good deal. But however, the competition is so stiff, so severe, so powerful in today's video that I had to put the humble GSX S1000 in ninth place. It's got the K5 motor in it. Can you believe it? 20 years strong on that platform, making 150 horsepower and about 83 foot-pounds of torque. One of the best things about this bike is it's a true superbike frame. It's coming directly from the GSX-R 1000 race bike, and you could say, well, yeah, that's because Suzuki's cutting costs, and I would say, you are correct. I've ridden one of these motorcycles and they are really, really good. I couldn't say anything bad about it, but it's just not very memorable. And when you're talking about the category and we're talking about today with the Hypernaked bikes and the other bikes on the list today, it's going to be really hard to compete. But look, it does everything really well, and if you just want Hypernaked bang for buck, the GSX S1000 might be the ticket. Number 8 on the list today is the Honda CB1000R Black Edition. Now, I rode this bike and made a whole review on it, and while it is stunningly beautiful in person, beautiful Honda build quality, and a great all-around motorcycle, it doesn't quite fit the Hypernaked category that we've set up today. This bike certainly embodies the CB moniker that Honda has given it because it truly is a city bike. It's not particularly sporting, and although the engine does make a healthy amount of power, you can certainly tell it's a detuned Fireblade engine. I'm curious why Honda has yet to make a sort of Street Fighter-esque bike based on the Honda Fireblade. I think that would do really, really well. Give us a 215 horsepower naked bike that goes toe-to-toe with some of the finest bikes we're going to talk on the video today. So yeah, Honda CB1000R Black Edition, beautiful motorcycle, nice motor, but again, a little forgettable and not ultimately sporty enough to be a Hypernaked bike on the list today. Number 7 is the BMW M1000R. Ooh, Beamer Simps. I give you a little bit and then I take away. It must be difficult being a BMW fan and watching gaming noob videos because I'm so back and forth on them. Number 7 is the BMW M1000 Single R. And the reason for that is because of price. The thing costs $26,945 if you spec it with all the goodies, because you have to spec it with all the goodies. And I just feel like the BMW is such a Me Too motorcycle. It's like, ooh, I'm a Hypernaked too, look at me, ooh. I just don't really care. I don't think it's that interesting. I've yet to ride one, but I've ridden an S1000RR many, many times. They are great bikes. They work really well. I'm not really sure if the M1000R is going to do anything spectacularly better than any of the other contenders on the list today. And again, this video is subjective, not completely objective, not unbiased, but I do think the BMW has to find its way 7th on our list today. It features a stonking 999cc inline-4 engine, making over 205 175 horsepower, and it is a pretty sweet ride. And yeah, it looks pretty cool in the BMW M colorway, but I really think people only buy these to flex on Instagram. Is anybody actually buying the M1000R? It doesn't feel like a real motorcycle that I've ever seen ever anywhere. Nobody I know has ever had one. So what the hell?
Look, I know it's banana yellow to you, but Suzuki calls this color on the GSX-8R Pearl Ignite Yellow. It's actually very pretty in person, and you will get loads of looks while you're riding it because guess what? I am giving this bike away to a lucky member in the audience. I've given away over 51 motorcycles valued at over $500,000 in the last 5 years. It's been the coolest part about running this channel, and we just keep doing cool bikes all the time. Head over to yamanoob.co and pick out a t-shirt, a hat, a hoodie, whatever you'd like, and every dollar you spend on the store will be an entry to win the bike, and who knows, we might even have a sweet multiplier going on right now. So head over to the store, check it out, and don't miss it.
All right, 6th on the list today. Again, gonna ruffle some feathers, but the thing is, this is my ranking. It's the KTM Super Duke. Now look, I know the new one is $13.90 and it's this huge V-twin. It makes all the torque in the world and it makes 190 horsepower and 107 foot-pounds of torque. But truth be told, I have never gelled with the KTM Super Duke. I've ridden a first generation, I've ridden previous generations, I've ridden even a latest generation, and I just find them to be not really something I gel with. They always felt a little rough, a little brutish, and just not really all that great. I find the bikes to be a little too pointy on their nose, and I don't really know if they know what they actually want to be. And I still think it's strange that KTM makes this motorcycle but doesn't have a super sport equivalent or a super bike equivalent. But then again, it'd be some giant V-twin super bike like the old KTM RC8R, but those bikes don't exist anymore, which also, that's a classic. I've ridden that bike at Road Atlanta. It's amazing. So yeah, KTM Super Duke, really not one of my preferred bikes. I think it's okay, but I think the other bikes we're going to talk about today are definitely better. All right, number 5 on my ranking is the Aprilia Tuono V4 1100. I feel like between the BMW, the KTM, and the Aprilia, everyone is just seething now, but let's talk about it. The Aprilia Tuono makes a fantastic sound. That bike is basically its engine. It features the older 1077cc V4, making 175 horsepower and 90 foot-pounds of torque. And at $16,199, it's genuinely very good value for money in the base package. That's a lot of motorcycle for not a lot of money, and a lot of exotic flavors for not a lot of money. All that being said, the bike as a street package, because I've actually ridden one and owned one as a giveaway motorcycle, it just felt a little go, go, go all the time. It's like a bike that just wanted to just go, 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 and it never wanted to settle. The throttle tube was just always begging you to twist it, and that's fun for like an hour, and then eventually you're like, okay, I just want it to be a more normal, civilized bike, and the Tuono never is civilized. So if that's an experience you're looking for, I think the Tuono fits the bill, but for me, not good. Especially considering how much better some other motorcycles are in this category. So yeah, if you're looking for exotic flavors at budget prices, the Tuono V4 could very well be your motorcycle, but again, I think it's just a little too wild and unruly and a little too go, go, go for my tastes. Okay, number 4 is the Triumph Speed Triple 1200. What a bike, what an engine, what a frame, amazing, amazing motorcycle. We had the chance to own one, a 1200 RR, the fully faired, half faired thing, as a giveaway motorcycle. I took it on track, took it on road, really loved the bike, super cool. But ultimately, I think that despite it having a lot of character and charm with the triple cylinder engine, it kind of just, how do I put this? The Triumph Speed Triple, it does everything very, very competently, but it's missing the X factor. It's massively grunty, super enjoyable, the fueling is wonderful, the handling is great, but it's just missing that final 5 or 6% that I really look for in a superlative motorcycle. That's not to say I wouldn't happily own one. The Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RR actually almost made its way into my personal garage because I just thought it was such an amazing motorcycle. I loved looking at it, I loved riding it, the look out of the cockpit was amazing, and the Speed Triple 1200, the naked version of it, is equally as cool in my opinion. But I think when we're splitting hairs towards the podium places here for my pick of best Hypernaked motorcycle, it can be quite difficult to choose. And so that's why I had to make the difficult choice and put the Triumph Speed Triple in 4th place. Which is tough for me as a Triumph guy. It's really difficult to do that. All right, podium positions now. 3rd on my list of rankings for the best Hypernakeds is the Yamaha MT-10. $14,499 gets you a stonkin' cross-plane inline 4, the R1 frame, newly updated looks. It's still kinda ugly, and that's still the reason I can't rate it much higher than 3rd place, because I am quite vain. But I'll tell you what, if Yamaha made an XSR1 that had the XSR looks and the Yamaha MT-10 frame and engine and all that, I would go gaga over it. I'll tell you that right now. That would be my number 1 pick. But it doesn't exist, so it's 3rd place. 998cc crossplane inline 4, making 164 horsepower and 83 foot-pounds of torque. It's got exotic feel, a budget price, Yamaha build quality. You just can't go wrong with an MT-10. They're genuinely one of the best motorcycles on sale today, and certainly should be considered if you're looking at Hypernaked motorcycles. All right, last 2 bikes. You could probably guess which ones I'm going to put in number 1 and 2, but let's talk about number 2. It's the Ducati Streetfighter V4S. Oof, what a good motorcycle. The Streetfighter V4S had one as a giveaway bike. Unbelievable motorcycle. Here's what the Streetfighter V4S does over the Tuono that just can't be beat. It can be ridden like a normal motorcycle anytime you want. Particularly if you keep the stock exhaust on. We swapped it out for a super loud system, and it lost that kind of like everyday character and charm. But man, if you keep the stock pipe on a Streetfighter V4S, you could daily that bike. And that's insane, considering the fact that it makes 207 horsepower and 89 foot-pounds of torque. It's an 1103cc V4 that revs to 15,000 RPM in a naked motorcycle you can ride around all day long. The Streetfighter V4S was wickedly fast in a straight line, insanely capable at the track, but there's one big caveat: you have to pay to play. Base price is $27,795. This is a $30,000+ motorcycle out the door at your local dealership, not including the fact that you are going to spend out the nose for maintenance, parts, accessories, exhausts, and ultimately valve checks on that thing. Yeah, why don't you go and take a look at what that entails? It's not good. But the Streetfighter V4S is truly so superlative. It does everything well, but it's not my number 1 pick. It's not. Because those of you who love this channel and know what I'm about to say will know that the only bike that is top of the heap on the Hypernaked category for me is the Kawasaki Z H2. So go ahead, write a comment saying that I don't like Kawasaki's. Go ahead. The Z H2 is the best Hypernaked motorcycle you can buy. Look, it costs $18,500. It features an inline 4 with a frickin' supercharger attached to it. It makes 197 horsepower and 103 foot-pounds of torque. But I'll tell you right now, that motor feels like it makes twice that power. And the best part is it can be tuned to make a whole lot more power if you want to. It's absolutely goated in the sauce. There is no motorcycle like the Z H2. The feeling that it gave me was so much fun. It was this big fat missile of a bike. It had no reason to exist. It exuded Turbo Hayabusa qualities to me from the factory. It was so much fun to ride. It was comfortable enough to sit around. And the best part was, you could feel the boost build in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and maybe even 4th gear if you're feeling adventurous. You didn't have to go out to crazy highway speeds to feel what this motorcycle could do. It was so unique. It was so amazing. And look, it's not the greatest motorcycle on track. It's not the greatest motorcycle on street, but I don't care. That motorcycle made me feel things that no other bike has. It is my true Hypernaked love, and it will be very hard for the Z H2 to be dethroned. I think that motorcycle is just fantastic. And again, $18,500 is kind of a good deal for a supercharged motorcycle. Consider the fact that the Ducati costs $10,000 more. You could literally get a ZH2 and a bop around dual sport for the price of the Ducati. And I guarantee you're gonna have just as much giggle factor on a ZH2 as you would on a Streetfighter V4. So guys, that's wrapping up my Hypernaked list. What do you think about my rankings today? Am I right? Am I wrong? Go ahead and debate in the comments section and let me know. Also, remember to sign up over on amnu.co and get entered for a JSX 8R giveaway motorcycle. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. You've made it to the end of another Yami Noob video. Aren't you just a special little cookie? Aren't you just something so great? Aren't you just, look at you, you're just so freaking cute. Why don't you go ahead and click on the next video? Why don't you go ahead, listen, hey, I'm just kidding around. Hey, listen to me. Click on the video.